Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Heartslayers podcast. We are the Heartslayers, Derrick Costa and Meg Turner. I am the resident Latin lover of Mega 64, here today to give you all my expertise on your relationship problems.
I'm just Meg, so.
And I'm here with Meg to give the female perspective.
Yeah.
So you get the best of both worlds. We're going to be taking calls. We're going to be answering emails. So let's get to it. All right, everybody. We're here with Dan. What's up, Dan?
How's it going?
It's going good. You're here with Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers.
Deja vu.
What's your issue?
So, I've been having this issue for about 6 years now. I met this girl when I was in high school, and we really clicked. Nothing ever came out of it, though, due to poor timing, work schedules, and just general lack of communication in general. But I met this girl so long ago, and I was really into her, and I haven't really connected with anyone like this girl since. Mm-hmm. We did musical theater together, and so we saw each other a lot. And then I left for the military thinking that would be the end of it. Okay. And here I am 2 years later, and I think about this person a lot, and I just can't seem to really get over it. And I was wondering if that, what kind of stuff should I do about that?
Okay. Wow. So have you ever, were you guys friends, or were you romantic? Were you flirting at all back in high school?
I would say we were good friends.
Okay. But you never kind of felt like she was into you, maybe? Or did you get a feeling?
I kind of had a little bit of a feeling, but I never really acted upon it, because by the time I felt that she might have liked me back, I was like, well, I leave for, the rest of my life in about 6 months, so I don't really feel now would be a good time to get that started.
Oh, no.
Right.
So do you still talk to her now that you're, out of the military? Do you have any contact with her?
I don't. I reached out to her once, and we had a small conversation, but other than that, it's just been kind of a one-sided thing on my end, I suppose.
Okay. Are you, do you follow her on social media? Do you stalk her a little bit, see what's going on in her life?
I would say I do, yes.
Yeah. Is she dating somebody right now?
No, she's not.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys live in the same city?
No, we don't live close anymore.
Okay.
How far away do you live?
She's up in New York, and I'm down in Georgia now.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I guess there's two ways to interpret this issue. Are you interested in maybe rekindling some of that lost connection with her, or are you kind of asking should you maybe be getting over this? How do you feel about it?
I feel it should probably be the latter.
Yeah.
That I should, I mean, I feel like at certain points in my life, I have been I've moved on, but then I hit a hard point in my life, and I go right back to thinking about her.
Okay.
As sort of a comfort blanket,
Yeah. Well,
have you tried dating anybody recently?
I've had, for lack of a better term, sexual relationships, but nothing on an emotional level, really.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you know what? It's nice to me to hear that you guys met in musical theater in high school, because I used to do musical theater in high school, and I feel like I have kind of seen situations like this. You're rehearsing plays, you're spending all this time together after school, and there's something about musical theater where people fall in love with each other in high school. It happens all the time. I can tell you from my personal experience that, the way people are in high school and the way they feel in high school is not typically who they are 6 years later.
Right.
And they usually don't, they're just not the same person, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes when you're really infatuated with somebody and then you kind of have this missed connection, honestly, you kind of build it up in your head a little bit into kind of a fantasy.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you kind of just remember the good times and the way things were back then. And, it kind of does fester a little bit. Like you just think about, man, I wish I could have had this connection. I wish I could have made something happen. But, 6 years later, I think that you have to realize that circumstances have changed. And that girl has had all these experiences in the past 6 years that you're not aware of. And she's probably not the same person that she was back then.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's also, you build it up in your head and it's like, oh, this could be the perfect relationship, but she could be completely different. So it's more of a fantasy situation. And
yeah.
it'll feel really good to think about, but in reality, it just might not work out.
I agree. I think my advice to you, though, is, there are things obviously that you liked about her, things that you connected with her. I'm sure that I like to think that there are types of people out there, and the things you like about one person, you can find those qualities in another person in a situation that is more conducive to a relationship. I think, Dan, the fact that it has been so long and you guys have gone so long without really having a friendship or a connection, for 6 years, and the fact that you guys don't live close together, those are two big burdens to kind of having anything happen between you guys.
Right.
So, I would try to maybe find a girl that reminds you of that girl who lives in Georgia.
Yeah. All right.
I just think that if there's certain things that you like about that girl and made you feel like you wanted to get into a relationship, you can find that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Close to home. What do you think about that, Dan?
I don't know. I think you're pretty poignant on that I really just need to kind of keep persisting and kind of put myself out there.
Yeah.
I feel is what you're saying.
Definitely put yourself out there and just realize that, what? Times have changed and maybe that window is closed, but once you emotionally accept that window is closed, another window will open up for you.
Yeah, always.
I think that you need to make yourself emotionally available to find a good girl in your own neighborhood who's there right now, who's interested in you right now. Military guys are very in demand, you know, with women out there. I'm sure there's a lot of girls, even more so than musical theater guys.
That's true.
And you kind of have the best of both worlds. You come from the musical theater world and the military world. So I'm sure there's, a woman out there who's going to think you're quite a catch. But if you're hung up on this girl from so long ago, maybe you won't see that, or you'll miss an opportunity that's there right now. And I think that that's more important, is to focus on, what's available right now.
Exactly. Just don't dwell on the what ifs, because you don't know.
Yeah. And also, I think that, when you go into a relationship really wanting it to be romantic, that kind of kills it.
Yeah, it does.
You always need to start with just like, a friendship, whatever, connection. It needs to be organic. You can't force it.
Exactly.
So I think that you should maybe move on a little bit, try to find, something here and now in the present, and not worry about what could have been in the past. Let the past be the past. It's sad, but you can grow from it, I think.
Well, I think that's really great advice. Thank you so much.
Cool.
It's good to get some word on it, because I really never talk to my friends about it.
Well, definitely glad to help you out, Dan. Good luck with that.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Okay, everybody, we're back here with Lee. How's it going, Lee?
It's going well.
Sweet. You're here with Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's your issue?
Okay. So my issue is I was with I will say I was with a girl for a year and a half. Um, and we had been doing really well. I would say it's probably the best relationship I've been in ever. I'd
Okay.
say that. Um, but now I'm actually 22 years old, and she was 18 at the time. And I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, she actually left for college and decided that we needed a break. And things kind of happened where maybe we didn't handle the situation so well, but now we're just plain broken up, and it's a huge mess. So, not sure what else to say.
Oh no. So, okay,
Yeah.
well let's ask you some questions. You say that you were 22 at the
hmm
time and she's 18, so she's 4 years younger than you?
Right. And yeah, when we first started dating, I was actually 20 and she was 16. I don't know if that helps.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Um
there's kind of like a weird age difference
yeah.
where it's
Right.
only because we're so young that it's um kind of strange, I guess.
Sure. Was she your only girlfriend or have you had other girlfriends?
Oh no, I've had other girlfriends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you her only boyfriend?
No, no, no. She's had several partners before me also.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And so
I will say though that I think I was her first long-term relationship, like longer than like a few months, I'll say.
yeah, okay. You guys dated for
Yeah.
almost 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you at college? Was it a long distance relationship or were you guys like in the same area?
No, for the year and a half that we were dating, we would see each other on a really regular basis. We actually both did community theater together, so I would be her ride most of the time, and we would do shows together. And I had actually gone to college, I think about 3 years back. I'm actually looking at going back again now.
Okay.
But now I am not in college currently, and now she's actually going to the same college. So that's kind of where some of my confusion is coming from because um, the university that she was going to isn't really that far away.
Yeah.
It's like a 40-minute drive maybe, and I was actually looking at going up there a lot of the time. So that's kind of where some of my confusion is coming from, I guess.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. And
Sure.
I'm gonna get a little real, a little personal.
Okay. I love it when Derrick gets real.
All right. So you did have a little bit of an age gap there. 4 years. You know, that's an age gap. Was there any drama or controversy? How did her friends and family or your friends and family feel about the relationship? Were you guys secretive or was everybody generally
No,
really
no,
accepting and supportive?
that's a great question because you're probably surprised to hear that it actually went over really well.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I think that people just saw like how good we were for each other.
Okay.
Also, yeah. Um, because she had actually been a friend of the family, and we live in a small town. We live in West Virginia,
Okay.
so like kind of everybody knows everybody, and especially when you're in like a theater kind of community. So, no, but to answer your question, no, there was really no issue with us being together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then, can I ask maybe what was the purpose of the break? I'm assuming that's something that she wanted and not you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she tell you kind of what she was feeling at the time? Was it that she was starting, going to a new school, or did she give any sort of explanation to you?
From what I understood, um, it was sort of her just being in a completely different environment and being in, like a college for the first time, which is really different kind of feeling than just being in a high school, I guess, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it was a lot of pressure on her,
Okay.
Okay.
and
I can kind of wrap my head around that. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
you know, when you're under a lot of stress sometimes, you know, you kind of maintaining a relationship is really hard. I think you need to be
Right.
in a good place mentally and
yeah,
emotionally to be in a good relationship.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Uh,
also think that she thought that I could have been in a better place, which is also maybe true. I mean, both of us have a history of like kind of difficult upbringings.
okay.
So I think that might have been part of it. Like she maybe wanted some time away for us to work on each other, but what I didn't understand is why we had to break up entirely for that to work. You know what I mean?
Sure. So it started with we're going to take a break and then it moved into we're going to break up entirely. Is that kind of what
It
happened?
did. Yeah, it did.
Was there like fighting between you guys between those two periods?
Yeah, it got a little difficult. I think the biggest issue was that I wanted to meet her and kind of talk about it, or even just call her.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess she didn't feel comfortable either meeting me in person because she just felt bad about like having done it. Like she didn't want to do it, but like anyways, we didn't really meet and talk about it. We just kind of texted about it, and obviously that's kind of difficult and you can't really figure out what the other person is really thinking. It's just not a good way of communicating anything. So that's been some of the difficulty of it, honestly.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
When you've been dating somebody for a year and a half and they, you know, won't have a face-to-face conversation with you about
Yeah.
ending the relationship. That's a little bit rough. How long ago
Yeah.
did this happen, Lee? Was this recent?
I want to say like 3.5 weeks ago.
Wow. Okay.
So
So
it-
that's
yeah,
that's
it's-
still very recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, and we still haven't even met or talked over the phone, though. It's really strange, actually.
Okay. Well, Meg, do you have any insight into what may be going on?
I feel like a lot of people feel like when they're going to college that maybe they should start fresh, like just go with no strings attached,
Yeah.
whether or not they're in a long-term relationship or not. I don't personally feel that way,
Yeah.
but I mean, you don't know what was going through her head, especially since you haven't met her in person to talk about it.
Right, yeah.
Do you think you're looking for like some closure to it, maybe? Like if you did sit down and talk to her about it, like maybe see what she's thinking?
Yeah, that's honestly just the thing that I could use most right now. Like, I told her, if anything, I feel like we need to just be able to sit down and like talk about what's happening.
Okay.
But she
So it's
doesn't want
been
to do
really-
that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
All right, let me ask you something, Lee.
Okay.
What do you want right now, as of today? Do you want to repair this relationship, or do you kind of want just a clean break?
I'm actually looking to fix it. I'm actually looking to repair it, as you said.
All right.
That could
Yeah.
also be dangerous territory, though, because it
Right.
sounded like she reached a breaking point to where she was open to still kind of being in some sort of relationship, but it reached a point where she just couldn't do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that could also be a little bit dangerous for you.
Right. What I've been doing right now is just trying to give her as much space as possible. Like, I'm trying not to, text her or message her while I know she has classes, or, I'm not calling her or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to kind of let her reach out to me, I guess, whenever she feels like she's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, what I'll say is that, and you probably know already because you're a little bit older. You've been there already. When you start college, it is a very kind of adventurous time in your life. There's so many new opportunities coming to you, and you're going through all these changes. I think that most people just don't even know what they want in life when they first start college. Then that goes for relationships, that goes for careers, that goes for friends. I think it's a time where you are trying to figure yourself out as a person. And, you know, honestly, I feel like from the ages of 18 to 22, you are 4 completely different people.
Yeah.
Like,
I would agree with that.
Every single year, you are a whole new person. Like, the person you are 18 is a completely different person when you're 19, and then 20, 21, 22, even maybe 5 different people. And then once you start getting into the kind of the age of 22, 23, you've gone through all these phases, and you've kind of figured yourself out a little bit.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're kind of at the end of that journey and she's at the beginning of that journey, it's going to make things, I think, really difficult.
Absolutely.
I think that you should honestly expect that she is going to change as a person a lot, like just being in college over the next couple of years. And, you know, the person you were dating back at the community theater, back when she was in high school, is probably not the person that she's going to remain, you know, over the next coming years. Now, that's not to say that you guys can't make another connection, but I think that you need to, you know, be smart about this situation and kind of expect that she is going to be going through these discovery phases of her personality. And maybe that's something that you emotionally don't want to, you know, go through. Because I think that your relationship with her definitely represents a part of her life that she might be trying to get away from. And so, you know.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Is that she definitely felt like she just wanted to get away from her hometown and her parents. And fortunately, I was kind of included with that. So you're definitely right.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think that, you know, if you want to repair this relationship, I think it's great to give her some space. But I think the worst thing you could do is, you know, really get down on the situation and get down on yourself. I think if you become like depressed or sad about the situation, it's not going to make anything better.
No.
I think you really need to try to find your own happiness, Lee, outside of a relationship. You know, find the things that make you happy and make you feel cool and good just as a dude. And you know, try to keep the conversation open with her and try to let her see the things about you that she really liked to begin with. Because even though she's changing as a person, I'm sure she still has feelings for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
On some deep level. And if every conversation you guys have is this emotional, heavy, traumatic, dramatic thing about all the stuff you've lost, that's going to drive a wedge in between you.
Right.
She's adapting to new situations as a person. And I think if you're adapting to new situations as a person, it could still be kind of a fresh relationship.
Yeah.
I think you guys can survive this tumultuous time in a person's life of going to college. So I think my advice to you is, you know, almost think of it as that relationship you guys had is definitely over. And now you're in this kind of liminal period where things can go either way. You can develop a new relationship, or, you know, you can move on. But don't try to hold on to that relationship that you guys already had.
Right. Just keep the door open.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still a real recent breakup for you. So I think, you know, 3 weeks after a 1.5 year relationship, that's not a lot of time.
It's not.
To get over things. So give yourself more time. You know, just try to stay friendly and positive in your conversations with her. But you got to be prepared for what's going on in her life. Things are changing, you know. You mentally might have to wrap your mind around the fact that the relationship might not get better. It might not work out, you know, but don't let that get you down. Maybe, you know, I think what people always say is if it's really meant to be, it'll work out in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys, you know, there's situations where people are together and then they break up and they date other people. And then in having those other relationships, they realize what they lost.
Exactly.
With the first person. You know, if you guys are really broken up, maybe you should go on a couple of dates. Not immediately.
No.
You know, take some time to yourself, definitely.
Yeah.
But if it gets to a point where it seems like she's moving on and you're not, you know, I would definitely think about maybe just try hanging out with some new people, and then that puts you in a new state of mind.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you realize stuff about, you know, your old person.
Exactly.
And then, you know, I would definitely just try to keep things light for a while.
Yeah.
Kind of reel back the relationship. It's hard after you've been with somebody for so long, but it is possible, I think, to kind of just take it back a little bit, take a few steps back, have a breather, and, you know, try to grow it again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a plant sometimes when you're gardening. Your plant will die and you're sad and you think the plant's completely dead, but you still give it a little bit of water, you still give it a little bit of sunshine, and then next season, what do you know?
It's even better.
The flowers are blooming again. So, you know, just try to go with the flow. I know it's really hard, but just stay positive. Give her some space. Definitely don't get angry at her. Don't cut her off.
No.
Don't do anything to push her away from you. What we always say is leave the door open and let her come to you.
Okay.
I hope that
All right.
helps, Lee.
Yeah, that really helps me out.
Cool.
Good.
All right. Well, thanks for your call. Good luck. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Yo, everybody. We're back here with Daniel. What's up, Daniel?
Hey, Derek. How's it going? Just want to say, really like the new show, and hopefully you can help me out here today.
Thank you. Yeah, you're here with Derrick and Meg. What's your issue?
So, well, there is a girl who I tried having a long-distance relationship with. My company actually flew me out to the city she was living about maybe, 6-7 months ago. And we knew each other for a short time. She saw me at the airport where I worked, and she was a barista, and we kind of hit it off. Had about maybe 2 or 3 dates, and I will say we went beyond fast. We went like light speed, and you know what? We felt. We really told each other that we thought we could make it work long distance, and it was just a lot of texting, a lot of FaceTiming, but our things never really lined up. So the question I have is, I actually got this transferred that's about a couple cities away from where she lives. And I'm trying to line things up correctly to where we kind of midway through summer just said, you know what, we don't think this is going to work. Let's just go our separate ways. And the reason why is purely because of distance. I don't think it was because of chemistry. But now when I try talking to her, she says hey, we need to try to rebuild trust. We need to what's the word I'm looking for? Just rebuild trust, and she wants to make sure I'm not going to flake out on her. So I just want to make sure I'm going about this the right way. How do I build confidence and trust with somebody like that?
Okay, that's a good question. So you said that you worked at an airport. She was a barista. Were you guys working in the same place?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's fine to say the name of the place. We were both working in Nashville. And I was there for about 3 months on loan to the airport for a particular large airline. And my team and I, after, we'd get done with our flights, we'd come up, get coffee, get lunch and all that, because the airline we worked for paid for it. And, I just saw this beautiful, tall redhead, very friendly, real Southern, kind of Southern accent, very friendly. And we just kind of hit it off. And she really thought I was cool. I thought she was super friendly. And she took me out to a hockey game. We did a bunch of fun stuff around Nashville. But as far as the number of times we hung out, it was probably about 3 or 4 before I finally had to fly back to my home city where I'm based out of.
Okay. Very cool. So now she wants to rebuild trust, and you're a few cities away.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, we thought that, hey, maybe an opportunity will happen where I can fly her up to see me in the Pacific Northwest. I can fly down to see her. But our schedules, because she works for Disney World now, she lives in Orlando. And the distance thing just did not work out. And we tried FaceTiming. were hot and cold. And a part of me is like, I really want to make this work. And I felt like we had a good chemistry because we were on the same kind of plane as far as our likes, dislikes, and stuff. But it just wasn't practical. And we finally had to end it in a real abrupt, almost kind of mean way, because one of us would like cave in and call the other one after we said, okay, we're done. And after, I'm not kidding, 2 or 3 times of that, I said, okay, that's it. You go see some other guys. I wish you all the best, but I got to move on with my thing. And lo and behold, a month later, my company offered me a transfer to Atlanta. And Atlanta to Orlando is like real close to each other. So I made the fateful text message, called her and said, hey, what's going on? I'm going to be close to you. You want to try to restart stuff? And
Yeah.
she sent me this huge paragraph of just, hey, how can I trust you this time? I don't want you flaking on me. And she kind of lightened up, but I mean, I just really want to make sure I'm saying the right stuff and doing the right things when I see her this fall.
Okay. So let me get this straight. She was calling you and you basically told her, like, cut her off, like, no, it's not going to happen. Go away. And then 1 month later, you messaged her again and kind of said, like, hey, what's up? Turns out I'm moving close to you.
I know. The irony is to the extreme here.
It's
Yeah.
funny how life works out like that sometimes. Well, you know what? Right off the bat, just hearing your story, the fact that she responded with a big, long paragraph, I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
For you, Daniel, because I think that, that shows that she's still emotional about the situation, which means she probably cared about you.
Right. If she still is holding on to, I don't know if I could trust you, but I'm willing to attempt to.
Yeah.
Then that's good.
Sure.
I think that, the best thing you could do right now with this girl is to be honest with her about how you feel about her. You guys said you moved lightning fast, so even though it was a short amount of time, I'm assuming there was some sort of passionate connection there, at least for a little while, right?
That's true.
Cool. Well, I would tell her I feel like where she's coming from is I invested into this guy really fast and I got burned a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, how could I trust him again? He's already hurt me emotionally. Basically, I thought he cared about me, and then he made it seem like he doesn't care about me.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
he cares about me again. I think that you need to be honest with her about your feelings and maybe be a little bit apologetic and understand that you probably didn't handle the situation as good as you could have.
Right.
And acknowledge that you probably hurt her a little bit. But honestly, let her know, like, you know what? I really care about you. I really enjoyed the time we spent together. I had no idea that I would be in a situation where I would be moving closer to you.
Right.
When I said those things that probably hurt you, I was really assuming, under the assumption that we were going to be on opposite sides of the country for a long time. So it was just not a possibility for us to have a relationship. I thought that was the healthiest thing we could do. But now that the circumstances have changed, I realize how much I really care for you, and I think you're really special, and I don't think that we should blow this situation, I think that if you were just honest with her about that,
Okay,
that would be the best way to rebuild trust, honestly, is kind of remove all the shadow of doubt and really just make it clear your intentions and lay it all on the table.
All right, will do.
Yeah.
So that'll just be my
Meg?
game plan. I'll try to take some time. She works for Disney World, so don't tell Rocco that. But no, I'm kidding. She works for Disney World, so I'll try to fly down there. Maybe we can make like a fun, 3 or 4 day get back together, see the park, have a good time, and just try to set things straight. So
I would absolutely tell her, hey, I'm planning on visiting Disney World in a few weeks. I would love to get together and hang out with you and try to have a good time. I'm almost positive she'll accept your invitation.
Right.
And then see how things go. And maybe if the opportunity arises, lay some honesty on her. That's the best way to rebuild trust. Anything to add to that?
Just make sure you're a little bit sensitive to her emotions, I guess. See what she's feeling, because if she already feels like she got burned, she might be a little hesitant to tell you how she's feeling. So just kind of take into consideration, like, hey, I probably hurt this girl. Like, let me be a little careful here.
Yeah, don't force anything on her.
No.
Don't try to force her back into the relationship. You know, lay it on the table, but allow her an opportunity to beat you up a little bit. Get a little
Just
payback.
roll with the punches. Gotcha.
Yeah. Roll with the punches, exactly. And I actually think you guys will be good. I have a good feeling about this. I think it's going to work out for you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Derek. Thank you, Meg. I appreciate it. And have a good rest of your week. Take care.
You too.
Same to you. Thanks for the call. Take it easy. All right, everybody. We are back here with son of M-Hack. What's happening, M-Hack?
A lovely day here in Alaska, and I was just tuning into Rocco's Apple stream, and he said you guys were taking calls. I've been trying to get in a couple of days on the last few streams you've done, and I've just been busy, but now I'm here. And so I guess what I'm kind of looking for here is an outside opinion on when somebody just kind of ghosts out of your life, like how you approach that. Like when you're on sort of a communication basis with somebody and then all of a sudden it's just zero signal, as it were.
Okay. Has this
Like-
happened to you recently?
It happened about last year. Yeah, it was about the end of last year, or the end of start of last year is kind of when it happened, as it were. It wasn't like it happened. I just noticed that I wasn't getting any communication anymore.
Okay.
Was
the
it
run-
a girl that you were talking to?
Yeah, a girl who I was kind of on and off with on a platonic basis for about 3 years.
Okay.
We had always had an understanding that neither of us was looking for a long-term relationship, but we both had similar interests, and we liked hanging out with each other. We liked going to eat sushi. We liked watching cartoons together. We liked doing a lot of the same things, but she wasn't looking for a boyfriend.
Okay.
And I guess it was just I don't really understand why I just became incommunicado. And I guess that's sort of the thing that's been messing with my head, is that not having – I know nobody owes you any answers or anything. I guess that's why I'm here.
Sure. So you guys were just platonic, just friends. Was there anything that happened that brought it to the next level? Did you guys have a romance in any way?
I wouldn't say romance. We were intimate, but we both had an understanding that we are adults who can be together physically and intimately without that necessarily meaning, oh, our lives are meant to be or something like that.
Sure. That's cool.
It was an adult relationship is the best way I could describe it, not necessarily a bonded relationship like some people would think about going steady. Or
you guys
like
hooked up, basically.
Yeah, we hooked up on the occasion, and we did a lot of things together. I guess that we didn't have anybody else to do the things that we were interested with. I felt that's why we had something with each other.
Okay. Now, did you develop feelings maybe? Because you said you guys had this, you had this understanding that it wasn't going to be serious. You know, you're just adults, but here you are. You're upset that she's ghosted you. So, do you feel like maybe you developed something on your own side?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
I definitely did. And I tried to control that, as it were. Try not to like let my feelings necessarily cloud me to say, oh, she's a horrible person for what she did. Everybody has their reasons for what they do.
Yeah.
I just kind of wish I had a better idea of why I'm not worth talking to.
Oh, I don't think that you're not worth
yeah.
talking to.
I don't think that's it.
You know, maybe she picked up on the fact that you were developing feelings, and you guys had this conversation from the outset that wasn't going to happen. So
Right.
maybe she thought this is the best thing to do to spare you from getting hurt.
Right.
You never know why somebody ghosts you.
You really don't.
You ever been ghosted before?
Probably.
Have you ever ghosted somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What were
And
you?
I guess-
What were you thinking of when you ghosted the dude?
Half the time it's like it's not an often thing. I say half the time,
Uh-huh.
but you either just realize that maybe the connection that you thought was there really wasn't,
Yeah.
or maybe they had done something to like kind of make you rethink, like, oh, I don't think this is a really good idea,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Let me ask you, M-Hack, the last time you guys hung out or talked, was it cool? Was it good? Or did anything happen?
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, everything was cool.
Okay.
One of my suspicions is this is one of the things that maybe we could be friends with each other, but because more specifically, I was friends with somebody that we couldn't hang out more. But once again, I don't know that that's the case. I had a friend who was going through a really bad breakup, and he tends to say some really nasty shit.
Uh-huh.
And so we would be hanging out with him, and he was dealing with all of that. And to be quite frankly, he was a bit of a misogynist about it. And I don't know. But once again, that's me kind of overthinking it, not having any real this is why I ghosted you. So
Yeah.
that's probably just me overthinking it. That's like the only thing I can think of about is the sort of negative emotion adjacent to us hanging out together.
Okay. Well, I have an answer to your question. How do you deal with being ghosted? And I think that what you need to remember always, never forget this, is that the most attractive thing to a lady is confidence and just being a really cool guy. And so the way that you deal with ghosting, and this is what I have done.
Yeah.
Don't think about how you should deal with being ghosted. Think about how the coolest guy in the world would deal with being ghosted and do what that guy would do. When I was younger and situations like this would happen to me, you may know this about me, maybe not. I'm a really big Batman fan. And I kid you not, sometimes I would think to myself, what would Bruce Wayne do in this situation? Could you ever imagine Bruce Wayne sitting around Wayne Manor getting all depressed that some girl is not calling him anymore?
Wasn't that the plot of Mask of the Phantasm?
Was that the plot of Mask of the Phantasm? All right, well then think about somebody who you really look up to. You think Obama gets upset when somebody isn't returning his
When
calls?
Michelle doesn't text him back.
No, he's got better stuff to do than worry
That's
about
true.
that kind of crap.
And I am kind of past that, I'll admit it. I just wanted to talk to you about that. Like I basically am back in a position where I'm just trying to be comfortable with myself.
Absolutely. Well, M-Hack, this is what you need to tell yourself. Whether you believe it or not, tell yourself this. Fake it until you make it. Just keep reminding yourself, say this. Sorry, there's a truck passing here. I'm going to wait for it to go. It sounds like a train. Just keep reminding yourself that you were made out of solid gold. Okay, my friend? And I know this sounds ridiculous, and people watching are probably like, what are you talking about? This boosts your confidence level so much. Just tell yourself, you know what? I am solid fucking gold. Okay? And if this person doesn't want to hang out with a guy or talk to a guy that's made out of solid fucking gold, then that's their loss.
Exactly.
Like, that's really stupid of them.
Yeah.
I am Bruce Wayne. I am the Batman. If you don't want to hang out with Batman, you're a dumbass. And you know what? I don't want to worry about what a dumbass is doing. I think if you have that kind of mentality, it makes it really easy to not feel bad about it. And also it puts you into a spot where you can move forward. You feel really good about yourself. You don't worry about these people who don't want to talk to you. You can find people who are really interested in you.
Yeah.
And once you are in this mindset of like, I don't really care why you're ghosting me, why you feel like you're not talking to me. Sometimes you get to the point of confidence where you can even reach out to them. And it just comes across. I can't explain it, but they can just pick up your vibe, even in your text message.
Yeah.
You just be like, hey, what's up? Did you see this thing we used to talk about? Whatever, hey, are you going to this? You could just be so friendly to them that it kind of like piques their interest. They're like, something's different about this message.
Why did I stop talking to them?
Yeah, there's something golden about this text message and what this guy is sending me. So really, just to reiterate and to condense it all down into one thought, when somebody ghosts you, don't think that it's something that you've done or that it's a problem you have. It's something that they've done, and it's a problem that they have, honestly. And they should feel really honored if you even try to reach out to them after they've ghosted you.
Absolutely.
Okay? Because you're really cool. Someday, you know, you're going to meet that person that is perfect for you. You're going to get into that perfect relationship. That person is going to realize that you're solid gold. So you need to kind of be operating and looking for that person. You need to realize it, okay?
Right.
And once you have that mentality and that attitude, that person who, you know, maybe they felt like, MHAC was developing feelings for me. They're going to see the new MHAC and they're going to be, you know, like, I hope MHAC has feelings for me.
Right.
This guy's so cool and confident. Like, well, I was stupid to stop talking to him. So, you know, love yourself, man. Just realize you're really cool. You're worth it. It's their loss.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you all for taking my call.
Absolutely. Hope that helps.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.
too.
Take care. Okay, everybody, we're going to take an email now. You can email us at podcast@mega64.com with any of your issues. This one comes from D, and it says, Dear Heartslayers, I wanted to ask about when you think it is okay to move in with a partner and what situations are good or bad for deciding to live together. Thanks. Moving in with a partner. What are your thoughts on that, Meg?
Definitely see how they live, because I've been in situations where I've moved in with a terrible roommate, so I'm not even romantically involved with them, and it was just a bad experience.
Yeah.
And then it's even worse if you are romantically involved with them, because then you feel shitty for being like, hey, this isn't working out for me.
Yeah.
So that would be number one advice from me.
My advice is don't let external situations force you into living together.
Right.
I've had like girlfriends, people that I was dating want to come stay with me because they got kicked out of their living situations. And it's like, well, yeah, you know, we're dating, of course, come on here. And then I realized, like, oh, you got kicked out of your old place because you suck to live with.
Yeah.
And now I got like the short end of the stick here.
Right.
I got the person that can't live with anybody living with me. So it definitely, you want to have a situation where it's all positive. Like you guys want to live together. You know each other well enough to know what it's like living with each other. And
don't jump into it at all.
Yeah, don't, because if you're dating somebody, living together, it definitely shows you everything about that person.
There is no escape.
There's no escape. You gotta really like that person.
Yeah.
If you only kind of like them, you know, you're all the bad stuff that you think like, well, maybe if we live together, that'll all go away. No. That becomes the focus. It's all the good stuff that goes away.
Yeah.
Time apart is healthy sometimes.
Yeah.
And you really need to work towards a level where you move in together. That's a big commitment.
It really is.
I mean, basically, that's like one step short of getting married.
Yeah.
You're definitely on the path to either getting married or breaking up real soon. So don't force it. Do your research. And good luck. Thanks for the message, D. Take care. Okay, we have another email here. This one comes from E, and it says, Hey, Heartslayers. I plan on going to a concert next month, late October, and I have an extra ticket, but none of my friends want to go. How can I approach someone, a stranger, and ask them if they want to go? Thanks for the advice, E. Okay, how do you approach a stranger and ask them to go to a concert? This is a tricky situation.
It is.
I feel like on a scale of easy tasks to hard tasks, this is on the far end of the spectrum of hard tasks.
Yeah.
Approaching a stranger to go to a concert with you.
It could go many different ways. They could just be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Or, no, that's super creepy. Why are you asking me this? I don't know you.
Yeah, I think, you know, honestly, I wish I had more information. I would want to know why you want to go with a stranger. You say none of your friends are interested, but is it that you just don't want to go by yourself?
Because with a stranger, like they could accept the offer and go, and then just ditch you once you're there. So.
Yeah, maybe. But all right, I don't know. Also, if you have a particular stranger in mind, or if you're just looking for any old stranger to go with you, I'm gonna assume. Let's handle both questions. So let's assume you're looking for any old stranger to go with you.
All right.
You definitely want to find somebody who is into the band and is kind of similar personality-wise to you, somebody you click with. So I would put a call out on maybe Facebook.
Yeah.
Just, hey, I got an extra ticket. Does anybody want to go? Does anybody want to buy it off me?
Right.
You know, because the seats are going to be next to each other.
Right.
Or ask your friends, like, hey, I know you can't go, but do you know anybody who you think might be interested in going?
Yeah.
Definitely try to feel out your extended social network already to find somebody who is already vaguely connected to you.
Yeah, a mutual friend, sort of.
Yeah. Outside of that, maybe Craigslist or even Tinder.
Yeah.
You know, with a picture of yourself and a little write-up about how you're really cool and you're not creepy.
Exactly.
Now, if it's somebody you have in mind, like it's...
like a secret admirer.
Yeah,
type.
a secret admirer. I would try to maybe have a conversation with this person.
Absolutely.
Without bringing up the concert ticket.
Right.
And feel out if there's any sort of connection there. Maybe talk about the band. Be like, hey, are you interested? And then next time be like, you know what? I actually had a friend who was going to go to this concert with me and they dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you like this band. You have any interest in going?
Yeah.
Try that out, and hopefully you'll have some success.
Good luck.
Good luck. Thanks for the email. All right, everybody. That's our podcast for the day. Thanks for watching. This has been the Heartslayers podcast. I want to say thank you to all the people who support Mega64 on Patreon. You get to see this episode 1 week early. If you want more updates on Heartslayers, when we're taking our next calls, or when the next episode is going up, you can follow us on Twitter at Mega64. You can follow me at Gustavo. You have a Twitter too. You want to shout that out?
It's at Furnace Woods.
Very cool. We are taking calls on Skype. We're taking your emails. So don't be shy. We'd love to hear your situations and help you out. But until next time, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.